exciting session coming up. We're going to explore how leading banks are using data intelligence to streamline regulatory reporting, improve accuracy, and stay ahead of compliance demands. We'll cover how modern tools like catalog, lineage, and modeling are helping teams reduce audit risks, improve data traceability, and enhance collaboration across departments. Our expert Mike King is here to walk us through these innovations and show how they can make a real difference in your reporting processes. And with that, I'll hand it over to Mike to get things started.
Good morning. Today we're going to go through governing reporting using data intelligence. I appreciate your attendance. I want to give you a little bit of background about myself before we begin. With a career spanning global financial service organizations like Goldman Sachs, Citi, and BNY Mellon, I've led enterprise data and analytics transformations across every facet of modern banking, be it investment, custodial, or retail. From architecting and managing real-time trade platforms, specifically statistical arbitrage, to launching AI innovative labs and redefining governments for over 6,500 different applications. I've consistently turned complexity into clarity at scale. My work has empowered financial institutions to meet regulatory demands, optimize performance, and embrace data as a competitive asset, all while navigating the shifting landscape of trust and digital engagement. This morning, I'm going to walk you through 8 use cases, explaining each as its importance to the financial institutions like yourselves. In addition, as we walk through each use case, I'll discuss the importance of and how Quest solves some of these issues. Finally, we'll have a demonstration on how Irwin DI supports one particular yet very significant use case. So let's kick things off with something that sounds a little dry, but actually is a total game changer. Reporting doesn't just mean spreadsheets and compliance. It's how financial organizations prove their credibility. We help companies turn messy, siloed data into clean, trusted insights that regulators love and executives like yourselves rely on. We're not just making reporting in AI easier, we're making it powerful. Financial firms aren't shouting into the void. With Quest, we amplify their ability to tell meaningful stories with data. Imagine helping your organization go from overwhelmed with data to confidently telling a growth story at the boardroom table. Here's where things get really exciting. Data isn't just about monitoring, it's about money. When our solutions help identify patterns, predict behavior, or personalize offers, revenue follows. We're not just selling tools. We're unlocking your potential to turn every one of your lines of business into touch points of profit. So let's start where banks feel the most pressure. Now, whether it's an investment bank navigating SEC oversight, or a custodial bank dealing with complex fund accounting, or even a retail bank managing branch level compliance, the challenge is really the same: fragmented data and conflicting formats. We help unify that landscape. Our data intelligence tools bring governance and traceability from front office to back office. That means smoother audits, stronger credibility, and real-time visibility. Financial institutions just don't store money, as you well know. You hold trust. When Tier 1 investment banks or global custodians use solutions to improve transparency and traceability, your voice becomes louder and clearer to the regulators, boards, and customers. We don't just give you tools, we give you a story that you can stand behind. So let's talk risk. Financial services like yourselves live and die by it. If your data is messy, your decisions are shaky. And we give organizations confidence because our tools ensure that your data is clean, traceable, and reliable. It's not just compliance, it's survival. This is the muscle behind the magic. Real-time data replication, system monitoring, and scalability. That's what lets your financial organizations like yourselves move faster and stay secure. We're giving you speed, reliability, and agility. That's your competitive advantage, as well as ours. Rising expectations, data sprawl, and digital pressure, it's a storm. So when milliseconds mean millions, for example, in high-frequency trading, you need infrastructure that won't flinch. Investment banks demand high-performance systems to support their front office analytics. Custodial banks need scalability to support fund administration across jurisdictions. And well, retail banks, well, you have thousands of daily transactions that need robust uptime. It's our tools that give you the underlying muscle for fast, scalable, and resilient financial operations. So you have to ask yourself the following questions. One, what's your biggest challenge? Is it compliance? Is it cost control? Or is it customer intelligence? And how are you managing your taxonomies across your data architecture? Now we connect the dots. These challenges hit where it hurts: profitability, growth, and retention. What's the cost of doing nothing? Well, let's state the obvious. The industry is getting squeezed. Investment firms face volatile markets. Custodial banks are under pressure and retail banks with fintech disruption. You have silo systems growing digital expectations and compliance sprawl, making decisions, making it harder. That's where we come in. We simplify, integrate, and accelerate. Think of it this way. Poor data governance doesn't just slow systems, it slows revenue. When a custodial bank can't produce accurate positions fast enough, clients lose trust. And when a retail bank misses personalization opportunity, your competitors are going to gain ground. And when an investment bank models drift unnoticed, value erodes. We turn these blind spots into revenue driving insights. So again, ask yourself the following questions. What are your KPIs for data driven revenue growth? And are you able to deliver actionable insights to customer facing teams in time to impact outcomes? So here's the playbook: integrated data, scalability and infrastructure, and finally, smart analytics. We don't just give you pieces, we give you the whole picture. Unified data lineage for audit confidence, real-time data replication to eliminate latency, and analytics that help every vertical from branch manager to portfolio analyst, making smarter calls. Our stack scales with enterprise needs but stays nimble for innovation. So what is the cost of regulatory delays or data quality errors in your environment? Do you quantify the business impact of data issues? These are the questions you should be asking yourselves. So let's talk about some use cases. Every firm hates losing customers. This slide's all about stopping that loss. We give you the data clarity and model monitoring to predict churn before it even happens. It's proactive retention and it saves you serious money. Retail banks lose customers quietly until it's too late. We detect subtle churn signals, for example, reducing ATM usage, fewer digital logins, declining balances. For commercial banks, this helps flag disengaged SMEs. Churn isn't a surprise with us, it's a foreseeable event. So, are you currently modeling churn risk? Can your data scientists easily access valid customer data lineage? And how easy is it for you to trace the inputs behind your churn models today? So you want to facilitate serving the right offer at the right time, right? So think Netflix recommendations, but for banking. It's smart, timely, and massively profitable. Think about custodians recommending fund products, or even a retail bank upselling credit cards, or a commercial bank nudging treasury services. With Quest, these nudges become timely, data-driven, and profitable. It's AI-powered matchmaking, and it works. Are you using AI for personalization across customer journeys? And how fast can you deploy insights across channels? Okay, deep breath. It's compliance time. Firms answer some pretty scary acronyms like the OCC, the ECB, and BCBS. We make sure that your data is crystal clear, bulletproof for audits to give you peace of mind in high stakes environments. Investment banks for audit trails evaporating on legacy systems. Custodial banks need pristine AML and KYC practices. And retail banks, well, you face digital identity challenges. We fortify all three. Our tools create defensible data ecosystems perfect for when regulators like the ECB, the OCC, or the FRB come knocking. Keep in mind some recent examples. Wells Fargo, $97.8 million in fines in 2018. And not only that, but the Fed, as I recall, imposed an asset cap of $1.95 trillion on Wells, severely limiting its ability to grow the balance sheet. Citi, for example, City National Bank, $65 million in OCC fines. Citi, $135.6 million in fines to both the FRB and the OCC. And JPMC, they were fined $98.2 million by the FRB, and it goes on and on. TD Bank recently last year $3 billion. So how do you support BCBS 239 and Basel III, AML, KYC, and GDPR simultaneously? Is your current platform capable of producing traceable reports at the request of regulators? This is super important because when they come in, they want to be able to understand that you have a handle on your definition and documentation of your data. Here's a great question. Could we show a regulator today how our AML reports are assembled, field by field? If no is any answer to answer these questions, then I think you need to take a deep look at what you're doing because it is definitely going to be a regulatory concern. So with credit risk scoring, imagine helping lending smarter and faster with accurate scoring from quality data. You reduce loan losses and get good borrowers in the door quicker. That's impact. Commercial lending is evolving. Banks want predictive scoring, not just historical ratios like in the past. Our data tools support high quality inputs and model variation in line with Basel and GDPR. So I'm sure as you know, with AI, there is not a ton of regulation right now, but there will be. And there are certainly guardrails around bias and so forth. So this is super important. Whether it's small business or a structured credit instrument, we improve the confidence of every credit decision. Are your credit models explainable and compliant with Basel? Can you trace every input for your credit scoring models? Again, these are questions you should be asking yourselves. Fraud detection. So fraud detection is a financial killer. We all know that, right? So our tools detect anomalies in real time and fire alerts to security systems fast. This isn't just tech, it's protection. Fraud is sneaky. You need systems to detect anomalies across digital banking, wire transfers, custodial reconciliations, and trade desk data. We replicate alerts in real time, keeping fraud containment sharp and agile. Trust is a currency, and we protect it. Are your fraud alerts propagated in real time? How do you manage model drift in fraud models? Ever wish you could read your customer's mind? I think we all do, right? This gets pretty close. We turn chat logs and call recordings into sentiment gold. Your firm can learn what's working and what's not working and where the focus is next. Imagine mining voice recordings at a retail call center or sentiment from custodial client feedback loops. We turn this chaos into clarity. You'll know what clients feel before they say outright. That's predictive service improvement, and it's driven by unstructured data. So are you analyzing customer sentiment right now in real time? And do you incorporate unstructured data into your analytics workflows? If you're not, you should be. In terms of transaction categorization, this is all about empowering the end customer. Auto tagging transactions into categories helps people budget better and builds engagement for the bank, better insights, better cross-selling, and better experience. This is consumer banking gold. When retail customers see clean insights, they, for example, spend $310 on dining last month, for example, they trust the app. That trust drives engagement, which drives cross-selling, and we power this with real-time categorization and dashboard-ready data. So do you offer category-based PFM tools? And is your categorization AI model performing well across customer types? So before we jump into the demo, let me explain what you're about to see. The FR 2052 Liquidity Monitoring Report isn't just a spreadsheet, it's a daily high-stakes regulatory obligation to the FRB that demands pinpoint precision. This report aggregates transaction-level liquidity data across legal entities, products and currencies, and counterparties, and it must be delivered in near real time with full lineage, attestation, and data quality, all under scrutiny of regulators. Any misstep isn't just an error, it's exposure. That's exactly where Irwin DI shines. In today's walkthrough, you'll see how its integrated data intelligence platform empowers teams to produce the 2052A with speed, accuracy, and governance at scale.
Hi everyone, my name is Prashant. Today I'll be walking you through the Arvind AI capabilities and we'll be specifically looking at how we can use Arvind AI to meet regulatory requirements. So right now I am on the landing page. This is the Arvind AI Discover asset where we present all the different metadata objects that has been part of our catalog, and this screen can be completely configured based on the user access and permissions. So right now I am on a specific item called data products. If I select on that, this gives me a quick understanding of what are all the different data products there are within my system. I can also see how the data products has been classified as gold, silver, and bronze. We'll be looking into this more as we progress through the demo. And I can also see some of good details, like what are all the data products that are tagged as critical data elements or PII classification and so on. So let me progress through our demo. From the end user perspective, I'll walk you through how to look at the data products and how Arvind AI can be used to achieve the BCBS and other regulatory requirements. So in this case, I'm looking for a data product, so I can click on Browse Data Products. This takes me to the catalog itself and lists all the different data products that has been defined within my organization. And then, as you can see, if I'm an enterprise, there might be multiple data products that are defined. It becomes difficult for the users to identify all the different data products that have been defined. So over here, you can see we have Amazon search kind of user interface. I can explore the data products by my line of business and verticals that are part of my organization. Or I can narrow down my search based on applying the filter. So for example, I might want to bring down the data products for a specific owner, or if I want to look at data products that are of value that are classified as gold, I can pretty much select this and apply filter and then go about looking at all the different products. On the right side, you see all the different data products that has been defined. If I am a business user, I'm trying to look for different products, I can use the compare feature, which is one of our key differentiator, to narrow down the data product that I'm looking for. So in this case, I'm interested in a couple of data products and I want to understand what are all the data models that are part of it. So I can say compare these couple of data products, and when I hit compare, this shows me a quick glance of what are all these data products are made of and what are the similarities or differences between each of them. At the very first, you will see data value score. So this is one of the key differentiator in Arvind AI, wherein we identify all the different parameters that are set behind the data product, like whether the data product is governed, has it gone through the workflow process, what is the data quality of the data sets and the associations for the data products. All of this is automatically calculated, and Arvind AI certifies the data product as gold, silver, or bronze. Immediately, this helps me understand this data product is well governed. I can use this data product for my regulatory and compliance requirements. If I scroll down, I will see what are all the definition and descriptions and good information. But the key items I want to highlight is expected insights. So when I'm looking at this data product, before I use this data product for reporting purpose, I want to understand what do I gain out of it? What are all the different business requirements that are part of this data product? So I can get all the different expected insights. And also, what are all the jurisdiction requirements for using this product? For example, if you have a third-party data that is coming into your institution, then only specific cost centers or line of business are allowed to use this data product. So all of that is essentially identified and tagged as part of the data governance process for the data product itself. So once we do the comparison and then we see that, hey, this is one of the data product I want to use, I can navigate and then get more insights about the data product. For my next part of the demo, I'm going to use the regulatory use case. So in this case, I'm going to use this data product. So this is a complex institution liquidity report. It is a federal report that is a regulatory report that pretty much all the financial institutions in US have to comply with. The regulators of US dictate that all the financial institutions have to document their cash inflows and cash outflows and all the various assets that they hold. And all of this information has to be gathered and reported to Fed every single day. So let's see how Arvind can be used pretty much to meet this regulatory requirements. So this particular data model or data product, I can see it has a data model that is tied to this data product. We'll get into there further. And if I scroll down, this shows all the different associations that is feeding into the data product. What I want to highlight is mind map, which is our key differentiator. So when I hit on mind map, this is going to show me a 10,000 foot level understanding of how the data product is defined and governed within my system. On the right side, you see all the different business objects. So I can click each of them individually. So this tells me all the different business objects that are governing the data. On the right side, on the left side of the data product, this shows me all the technical metadata that is feeding into the system. I can use expand all, and this gives me a 10,000 foot level of understanding of all the different objects that are governing my data products. On the top over here, I can see the legend that helps me understand this data product has an association to a data set. It has an AI model that is tagged to this data product and some business glossaries and tables and columns. So you can use the legend to understand what are all the different associations for this data product. So in my use case, this FR 2052A, let's deep dive on how this data is collected and reported to Fed every day. So right at the beginning, I can see what are all my business regulatory requirements that these data products are need to comply with. So the Fed has defined what is called as Code of Federal Regulations, or 12 CFR. Which dictates how the cash inflow and the outflow should be managed within my organization. So I can click on it. I can see what the regulations dictates. I can also see what are all the different data sets that are feeding into the data product itself. So because we are using a specific use case, you have cash inflow and outflow and market information that is feeding into this data product from multiple line of businesses. You see the data sets that are coming in from each of those business areas. What we also see over here is there are a couple of AI models that are used, and I'll walk you through in detail as we progress. So this tells us there are a couple of data models that are associated with the data product itself, and we'll see how the data model itself is regulated. So that is all of the business information that is on the right side. So on the left side, this helps me understand all the different systems and data sets, the actual technical metadata that is feeding into the system itself. So we have certain systems and environments and also tables from where the data is extracted and it is sent to the Federal Reserve every day. So if I want to derive data lineage and understand what are all the systems contributing to that, I can simply click on this environment, and all of the objects that you see or association you see over here are not static. It is interactive. So I can select any of these and then hit navigate, and then it's going to take me to that particular object and I can do further analysis. So right now I am in this particular environment. I'm trying to understand how this is feeding into my data products. So over here, you can see this is the data report, the FR 2052A, where we started from. In this case, we are reporting cash inflows and outflows, and we are trying to understand how all of this is captured at detailed column level. So this is the gold environment where we started off the lineage, and you can see all the different systems that are feeding into that. So we have the counterparty details that is coming from CRM, and this captures what are all the counterparties that are registered to do the trading, what are all the agreements, and all the other good information that is managed within CRM. And what we have over here is a specific derivative use case. In this example, we are trying to capture all the different trade details that are very specific to derivative use case and how it is captured and reported in this particular data flow. So you can see that because it is trading information, we have the data that is coming in live from Bloomberg and other third-party tools. And this is feeding into the front office where all the trade calculation is managed. And you will see that this is going into the trade management system where all of the cash inflows and outflows are calculated, and it is reported to the Fed every single day. And we also have a couple of other third-party data that is coming in order to calculate what is the market-to-market value or how the market is behaving. The Fed requires every single institution to manage the historical data and see how the funds or the counterparty is behaving over time. So that is where you have the third-party data that is coming in, all the historical trade information that is coming into the system, and it is going into the pricing model that calculates the market-to-market value and market trends. This is very essential for Fed to understand how the and also the financial institutions to understand how the counterparty is behaving over time, how the particular trade is executed to calculate the market-to-market amount and all of that. So you can see the AI model is used over here. It is fed by all the third-party data that is coming in and captures all the transformation details as we progress through. And over here, we can see all of the trading information is being brought together within the data layer or the data lake. The information, the trade information coming from the third-party tools and also the historical data is collaborated, and then it is sent to Fed every single day. And apart from reporting the cash inflows and outflows, the Fed requires institutions to capture the volatility risk, how it behaves and how it is impacting their financial institution. So that is where the volatility related AI models come into picture. It looks at all the different historical data that is coming in and how the trade has been executed, and it captures all the different calculations that goes into identify what is the risk involved, what is the curve that is projecting towards the volatility and so on. So these are all the Fed and regulatory requirements that has to be met by the financial institution itself. Another key requirement for financial institution is credit default risk reporting. What this means is that whenever you have a trade from the counterparty, it looks at all the different collateral that has been provided by the third counterparty, and captures what is the weightage that this particular counterparty is going towards a default. All of this risk details needs to be captured by the financial institution and has to be reported as part of the 2052A regulatory report. So over here you can see this particular AI model is looking at all the different trading information that is coming in, and also it looks at the counterparty details, and it captures what is the expected loss in case of risk default, which helps the financial institutions to prepare as per the regulatory and compliance requirements. You can also see how RVDI helps capture the metadata across all the different various systems. So all of the data that you see over here is brought in over what we call as the connectors, which hooks up into the system. It could be your Oracle SQL systems. It could be your AWS Redshift or Snowflake system or Databricks. We pretty much have a wide variety of support of technologies that hooks into the system, brings in all the table column definitions, and gives you an understanding of all the different data layout or data mapping that is within your system. And then in order to derive the data lineage or the data flow, we have what we have is smart connectors that looks at your ETL code, your Databricks, Py scripts or SQL scripts, and understands how the data is flowing between the system and captures the transformations at the column level that you see over here, which is one of the key differentiator when it comes to Arvind TI. So as a business user, I'm looking at this particular data lineage. I understand this is the FR 2052A report, what are all the different upstream systems that are feeding into this report. What we also have capability is bring in and tie the data quality scores. So Arvind AI has a data quality module that allows us to profile the data, and it seamlessly integrates the profiling scores with the data lineage. So over here you can see when there are a couple of tables and columns that are marked yellow, and you can, as a business user, you want to understand, hey, is there a issue or an alert within my system? Are there any data quality issues or measures that I need to look at? So a key differentiator is whenever there is a measure that has been defined, you can set the alert. So as a business user, what I'm showing you here is an email that has an alert. I can simply click on it, and then this takes me to the data quality system itself. So over here, you can see the issue was reported on the credit risk analytics table. So the alert did navigate me to the same table where the data has been profiled. So right now I am in the data quality module. So over here, you can see all the different attributes that are part of this system. What I want to highlight is semantic augmentation. Because this is the data quality module, we hook up into your system and profile the data and use regular expressions and AI to understand what are all the different data types that are managed. It automatically identifies and suggests these are the different types of data that is found within your system, and provides a seamless semantic augmentation with the data itself. So this also identifies what are all the types of data that is managed within your system. So because I had alerts, so I can click on alerts and see what are all the different issues there are as part of this data set. So as you can see, these are all the alerts that has been defined. There are issues. So I can click on any of these alerts, and I can simply click on it. And I can see how the data is progressing over time. And if there are any issues as part of this data definition, I can create issues, or I can go about as well. So if there are any issues, I can simply click on this create issue, or let's say this is a known data that is going on. So I can simply click on actions and mark that as normal and go about validating all of my data. So what you see over here is the data trend that is going over a period of time, and you see the semantic augmentation or the AI that sits between understands that there has been a dip within the data itself, and it creates this AI augmentation that helps you understand how the data is drifting over the period of time. So I looked at the issues, and let's say I want to do the remediation. So I can simply click on reports and generate a report to see what are all the different data elements that I need to remediate. So from the issue or the measure itself, I can navigate into the report, and this is telling me that these are all the different data elements that needs to be rectified. So you can simply generate this report, extract this, and give this to the engineer so that they can look at it and go about remediating the data itself. So I'm going to navigate back from the data quality module to DI, where we started off. Just to summarize, we started from this particular report, and we looked at how the data is flowing between the systems. We also looked at if there are any data quality issues, how to navigate from that. So as a business user, I looked at all of this information and it looks good. So I can close from this. And let's say if I want to do an impact analysis, so I can go into the impact analysis tab. And this is going to show me all the different upstream and downstream metadata that is part of my lineage. So this becomes very essential. Let's say you're making a change to a particular table or a column. This impact analysis report helps you understand what are all the downstream tables and columns and reports that are impacted. And not just that, because we are ingesting all of your ETL jobs and deriving the mapping at the column level, we also show what are all those ETL jobs and the mappings that need to be remediated if at all you are making changes to a particular table or a column. So, and then you can export this as a spreadsheet and provide this to a developer so that they can go about making changes. Some of our customers are using this for migration effort or modernization effort whenever they are moving from one technology to other. So because this is completely automated, it reduces the time that is needed to identify what are all the changes that needs to be done for that particular data flow. So now we are back to the data product where we started off. Another key feature is, so let's say I looked at this data product, I understood what is the data flow, what are the systems that are feeding, and I want to use this data product. I can simply create a task and then say, hey, I need to use this data product for my regulatory and compliance requirement. So I need access to that. So I can create a task and the task gets assigned to the data stewards themselves. And you can push this through the workflow process that allows you to get access to the data and then generate the report for the Fed and regulatory requirements. So over here, what you can see is as a business user, you can see I'm in a Power BI reporting world. I want to understand what are all the different objects, data sets that are feeding into this report. So we have developed a plugin that allows you to bring in all the good metadata to the business user fingertips. So I can simply click on refresh. What this does is it looks at the Power BI report that you're currently looking at, and all the good business metadata there is within Arvind TI catalog is brought right at the fingertips to the user so that they don't have to navigate outside the reporting world. So you will see the data product we just looked at, that is feeding this report. What are all the KPIs that are part of this report that are contributing to the data flow? And then you can also see what is the data value score right over here. So as a business user, I can look at this information. Maybe this is good enough for me. Or let's say I want to do a further analysis like what we just looked at. I can click on View in Arvind DI, and this will navigate right back to the data product that we just looked at. So this is another perspective, another view for the users. They can either come into Arvind DI and start exploring all the different data products, or they can also navigate from the Power BI world or any other reporting world to see what are all the data sets that are contributing and then perform that impact analysis.
So Quest doesn't just sell software. We deliver velocity at slow-moving industry. Whether it's helping a retail bank predict ATM demand, enabling an investment bank to pass audits with zero friction, or giving custodial institutions clarity on trillions in managed assets. We don't just solve problems, we sharpen the edge. So the next time you ask, how do you move faster, safer, and smarter? You'll smile and say, I've got the answer, and it starts with Quest. Today, we examine the growing challenges confronting financial institutions like yourselves, from global regulatory scrutiny to operational complexity and AI disruption. You also saw how our platform tackles these challenges head on with a live demo on how we streamline the critical 2052A liquidity report to the Federal Reserve. It isn't just about compliance, it's about control, resilience, and future readiness. Our platform brings together lineage, catalog, and data glossary, and marketplace, all purpose-built to meet the demands of a regulated AI-augmented financial world. As regulatory reform accelerates and AI reshapes the industry, Quest is not just ready, we're leading. We're uniquely positioned to become the de facto standard for data management and financial services, delivering trust and transparency and transformation at scale. Together, we're not just changing and protecting banks, we're helping safeguard the integrity of the global financial network and capital markets. Thank you for listening and your continued conversation.